in episode 136.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. I didn't expect it to become so big because I didn't create it to become like an influencer or anything like that. I just kind of just did it for myself, just as a confidence booster. And so I did see a gender therapist about it, and I went to quite a lot of sessions with her, and she was great about it. I could go to the sessions dressed as a guy or a girl, it didn't matter, and yeah, that really helped. My story is kind of like I'm under no illusion that this is something that just happens. I mean, I'm extremely lucky. Like there's not very many people that get to experience it. There's not many people that can even come out to their partner to begin with. So
welcome to the CrossYaas Podcast, the podcast that still says YAAS to everything related to cross-dressing, sexuality, and gender. I happen to be named Giselle Mirasol, and I love playing with my gender as a cross-dresser who believes that, again, I fall under the transgender umbrella. And fortunately or unfortunately for you, CrossYaas listener, depending on how you see it, you're stuck with me as your host and guide. So join me as we venture together into this world of cross-dressing, sexuality, and gender. Help keep this podcast alive by going to our website, CrossYaasPodcast.com, and click on our Patreon links to support us financially, because, nothing's truly free. But by chipping in, you can also enjoy some of the bonus extra stuff we have, like digital art, extra episodes, and Ziploc bags and bananas. You'll just have to trust me on this and can only understand what that means by becoming a CrossYaas Patreon patron. You can also chat with me, Nicole, and other wonderful CrossYaas listeners on our CrossYaas confidential Discord, which is also available on our website for even more support. And finally, if you enjoyed Nicole B's story and have your own personal story that's cross-dressing, sexuality, and or gender-related, but you're unsure of yourself, you're thinking, now hold the phone. Are you telling me, Giselle, that someone wants to hear my story? Well, duh. You know me, and you definitely know my nosy ass. The answer is obviously a loud, frickin'
yes!
It's true. People want to hear your story, so let's get you talking about yourself. Hit me up, Giselle, at CrossYaasPodcast.com, DM me on Instagram at CrossYaasPodcast, or chat me up on Discord, Rochi_Mochi #7325. I cannot wait to hear from you. Welcome, CrossYaas listener. Happy to have you back here.
Until you're back here, baby. Miss you, want you, need you so.
Sorry, fucking love BB Mac. One-hit wonders. But anyways, we left off last week with part 1 of my CrossYaas conversation with Nicole B, and we learned a lot about her. We learned that Nicole is a cross-dresser living in Ireland who also happens to have a fiance that knows everything about Nicole, while also having a 9-year-old son she had in a previous relationship know absolutely nothing about Nicole. We also learned that Nicole has quite a support system, and that coming out to her mom in full Nicole garb turned out surprisingly okay. But for today's episode, Nicole B and I dig a little deeper into the rest of her life. We start off with some dick pic talk, then talked about some of the avenues Nicole took in her possible transition path, where she went to see a gender therapist, and finally, where she sees Nicole in the future. There's a lot more in part 2, but all of it was a fitting end to a wonderful conversation with her, and I know you, the CrossYaas listener, will love it. Without further ado, here's part 2 and the conclusion of my CrossYaas conversation with Nicole B. Happy listening.
I suppose the only thing I wasn't prepared for social media was the dick pics.
Oh, yes. Here we go. This is why people listen to the podcast.
I never
Talk to us, Nicole. Talk to us.
I never understood them. I'm just like, the first time I opened one of those things up, I was just like, what's this? There's this person here that wants to contact me. Okay. And then you click open, and it's just like, oh, for God's sake, what is this? And it's just like, oh yeah, I know what'll turn her on. There's a picture of my junk. And I was like, what thought process goes to your head to think that this is a good way to start a conversation with a total stranger? I don't know. Anyway, I got numb to those over a while, because you just end up receiving so many. There was just an onslaught of, oh my God, I can't even tell you. There was so many. It was ridiculous. And then you got to filter through them because there's actually people there that are genuinely like interested in talking to another crossdresser and want to, share tips and experiences and all that kind of thing. And I was getting really frustrated with it and then like a lot of people were getting lost in my messages because I just didn't have time to filter through because there was so many messages coming in that I was just like, no, there's too much dick there. It's just a sea of dicks, and I'm just not interested in any of it. And I'm just like, oh, for God's sake.
Well, how many? Okay, well let's talk about your follower content first. So you have over 27,000 followers on Instagram, which is yay. Yeah. What was that reaction like first? And then we'll talk about how many dicks you've gotten sent.
Probably about 27,000 dicks. I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. I didn't expect it to become so big because I didn't create it to become like an influencer or anything like that. I just kind of just did it for myself, just as a confidence booster. So when I reached 10,000, I was just like, wow, this is pretty mad. It's crazy. And then it just kept climbing, and it's kind of plateaued at the moment. It's not getting any smaller. It's not getting any bigger. And the algorithm.
Are we talking? Wait, what's not getting any bigger or smaller? The penises or the...
Yeah, those two. My follower account. Yeah, it kind of just plateaued. The algorithms kind of change and they fluctuate all the time, so it's hard to keep up with them. And I just stopped trying to keep up with Instagram's algorithms. I don't know why they do. I just post as frequently as I can, and as long as people like what I'm doing, I'll keep doing it. But yeah.
Oh yeah, they like what you're doing. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
And have you told your girlfriend? Like, what does your girlfriend think about all the dick pics you get?
Oh yeah, I've told her. She's well aware, and she's just like, yeah, she's the same reaction as me. We're kind of like very similar kind of personalities. We're both like crazy, and like we just laugh. Sometimes we just laugh because it's just like some people are just so deluded. Like I've had everything up to marriage proposals on that thing.
Wow.
I'm not joking. Like guys offering to like fly me to Las Vegas and like they're gonna like marry me and pay for me and keep me like sugar baby and all this kind of, and just like, what the hell? What the hell? It's crazy. It is crazy. But whatever floats your boat, I guess. I don't respond to them because I don't know how to respond to them. I just kind of just ignore them. They go into my secondary inbox and I'm just like, okay, I don't know how to respond to you. So I'm not going to. Basically.
And this is kind of a related question. Is cross-dressing at all a fetish for you? I know it might have been as a kid, and maybe it still is, but what is it a fetish for you?
I don't think so. Like I don't do it for any kind of sexual gratification or anything like that. It's more for me. It's more about like expression, like an art form of expression. Because I've always been quite artistic growing up. And I was really into special effects and movies and all that kind of thing. That was like a hobby for me growing up, and I suppose like this is kind of an extension of that in a way, where I get to express like a part of my personality, but like in an artistic way. And I've really taken with like makeup and like clothes, because that, like, I mean, come on, like everyone, like the cross-dressers knows, like girls' clothes are way more fun than guys' clothes.
Way more fun. More fun.
We have like 3 options as guys. You can have shirts, pants, or some form of a t-shirt. that is pretty much it. Like
exactly.
And that gets bland really quickly. So you and then you go on and you shop for girls' clothes, and then you don't know where to start because there's just hundreds of options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd say it's more kind of just like an artistic kind of expression of my personality, how I feel about it, more so than like than a fetish for me.
Okay. Okay. Because I always wonder, I'm always wondering, have you had any like, I mean, always for the podcast, this is just, have you taken Nicole into a bedroom? Right. That's always a question.
Yes.
Ooh. And what was that like? Because that's always a wonder for not just the weirdo listeners like myself, but like the people who are like, is it like a role play that you do right in the bedroom? Because, some cross-dressers early in their experience want to know what it feels like, right? To be
Yeah.
dressed up or whatnot in the bedroom. What have you
Yeah.
done that, and what was that like?
Yeah. It's different, to say the least. It was. I suppose
Okay.
there's a lot of awkwardness, I suppose, at first because it's a different environment. Like you take it into more intimate setting, and then you don't want your partner to feel like, you know, that they're not adequate enough as a woman. Because like a lot of women kind of look at that as a threatening thing. You're dressing this way because I'm not enough for you, or not that my partner, you know, has ever said that to me or anything. I'm just going from like a lot of stories that I've read from people who've had like bad experiences. Um, but yeah, so I suppose I'm just careful about how I approached it. Maybe try this out, see how it goes. I wouldn't say it's something that's done very often. It's once in a blue moon. But when it is done, it's great. It's great. It's great fun. I'd encourage it. I definitely encourage it if you're in a relationship. Any of your listeners that are in a relationship and their partner is cool with it and they haven't tried it, definitely try it.
And was your girlfriend okay with it? Was she, like you said, she wasn't threatened by it, but was she fine with you dressing in the bedroom? Was she like, you need to stop this, or that was fun, we should do this more again, or what happened?
I suppose, never really discussed, to be honest. She's never said, and I don't think she'd ever say like you can't ever do this or ever do that. Like she's very open minded, and she's willing to try like anything, that I want to try in any aspect of life, no matter what it is. She's very easygoing that way. So yeah, like I said, it's not something that everyone is going to be comfortable with. So like my story is kind of like I'm under no illusion that this is something that just happens. I mean, I'm extremely lucky. Like there's not very many people that get to experience it. There's not many people that can even come out to their partner to begin with. So, I guess for me, it's I don't press the subject too much around the bedroom, just because I don't know. Like women deep down, they want a man as well. So you got to have a balance there. Like they might never say it, but like a woman wants her man around, and like I think a balance for us is a good thing to have. So you can have like Nicole time and guy time, but you're never going to be too much of one and not enough of the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know that's just for me. I mean, that's not for everybody. I mean, like, I'm sure there's just as many girls out there that wouldn't mind their partner dressing up every night of the week and doing whatever. Like, it's all personal preference. But I just based on like, this is just me spending like a long time reading stories and researching other people's backstories and their experiences, and yeah, I think like quite a lot of the time that came up a lot about around the bedroom issue and where the line was, and I don't think I've reached the line, so yes, but
Yeah.
I think I'm doing okay now. Yeah.
Yes. Have you thought of transitioning at all, Nicole? Have you ever thought of this being full time, or is it no?
Yeah, no, I did. I did at first. When I first started dressing, obviously you get euphoric about how good it feels when you accept yourself and how right it feels, and you think, this I could be like this all the time. I could do this every day. This would be awesome. And then
Mm.
you kind of explore that avenue, and then I did look at HRT and um like, I'm not sure what the laws in the States are like, but like in Ireland, if you want to transition, you've got to see a psychiatrist for at least a year,
Mm.
and you have to live as a female without any hormones for at least a year.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah,
Mm.
before you're given any hormones, and I think that is to kind of stop people from jumping the gun too quickly, and then because there's a lot of people that they do transition and then there's like, oh no, this isn't what I want, and then
Mm.
you know and there are stories like that, and then for the most part people that do transition, that is what they want and they're sure. But I think it's mainly to stop people from being too hasty with their decisions, just in case, like, psychologically they're not in the right place at that moment to do it.
Mhm.
So they make sure that you're kind of more like balanced. And so I did see a gender therapist about it. And I went to quite a lot of sessions with her, and she was great about it. I could go to the sessions dressed as a guy or a girl, it didn't matter. And yeah, that really helped me figure it out for myself. And the more I kind of delved into it, the more I realized actually I am happy as a guy, and I'm really happy as a girl. But I can be happy, you know, with on both sides of the line. So I was like, I made the decision that transitioning probably wasn't the best decision for me. And yeah, I'm pretty happy as I am.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. What did I was wondering, like, what did the gender therapist ask you to be like, oh, you're like, oh, I guess I'm okay with this versus not transitioning.
Yeah, I think the turning point in the visits for me was kind of like when she asked me, um, how would you feel about being a woman and being in like situations that women would typically find themselves in. So, you'd go into a role like in a career. Like my career is very male dominated. It's very burly. Like you're working in a hangar, you're working on an aircraft. Um, it's almost like a construction kind of environment, that kind of way. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
like she'd asked me like, how would you feel going into that situation? And I said I'd probably feel really awkward at first, but I'd get past that, and everyone else would just have to learn to get past it as well. I was really like gung ho about it at first, and she said, well, is there any reason why you'd want to leave your male life? And I had to think really hard about that, because I was just like, well, am I unhappy in my male life? Is there anything that I wish was different, like that I couldn't change without transitioning, or sorry, could change without transitioning? And I went and I thought about that. I went over it in my head, and I couldn't think of a single thing that I was unhappy with so dramatically that I'd have to like drastically change my gender to feel
Mm-hmm.
more at peace with. I couldn't think of any reason why I wouldn't want to be a guy that was good enough to go through such a drastic change for me and everyone else around me. And I was kind of like, well, and I don't mean like good enough as in, you know, like there wasn't like a solid enough reason. It was kind of more to do with the fact that it was such a big um, step to take and such a big undertaking that I was just like, well, there's nothing really in my life that's like gravitating heavier than this decision that I'm trying to make now. So
Mm-hmm.
is there any real need? And I eventually just came to the conclusion that no, there's not, because I just realized that I was actually just as happy as a guy, and I get to just enjoy the best of both worlds, really. I think that's kind of like the gender fluidity of it was kind of, more appealing to me than just being in one role, or either one role for the rest of my life. I hope that came out. I hope that made sense. I kind of warped that around a bit. But...
That worked. That was a great answer.
Okay.
Because, I mean, a lot of people who come to the podcast are questioning their gender, or questioning whether or not fully transitioning or socially transitioning is something for them. And those are great questions to ask someone who is questioning their gender, I think. And are you still seeing a gender therapist, or have you finished, or is it like, you're still questioning sometimes that, am I on the right path, or I don't know.
No, I stopped going to the therapists a few years ago. I started going to her very early on, because I was trying to make sense of a lot of it. Just like I couldn't really compile enough information online, and I spent hours and hours, like after work in the evening, just reading through forums and just literature from different case studies from different psychologists on the subject matter, and nothing was ever good enough, and if you ask any cross-dresser, like, why do you cross-dress, we're all going to tell you the same thing. Like, I don't know. No one, exactly. No one knows. You can never give anyone a satisfactory answer. So I just stopped looking, because I was just like, hey, sometimes you don't need an answer for things. Maybe just let it be and just enjoy it. Are you happy? Yes. Are you hurting anyone else? No. Well, then just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm. And you look fucking, God, I'm still enamored by your photos. Like, what? It's so good. I'm not sending a dick pic at all, but I mean, if I were to send one, it would get lost in your 27,000 followers. Oh gosh, are you still getting them? Like, what, or has it stopped? Have you been, blocking these people? What's happening?
From time to time, yeah, you'll still get the odd, dick pic squeezing its way in there, and it's like, in a way, I don't know, like guy me is like kind of like, oh, really, because I'm not into guys at all, so for me it's like whatever, but like for a girl me, it's kind of indirectly like flattering, I guess. It's kind of like validating my femininity in a way. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed feeling in a strange way.
Yeah, it is fun, right? Like, to get the dick pic as a guy is like, it's like, oh, ew, yuck. But as a girl, you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah. I'm validated.
Yeah, very much so. And you're just everything is goals on you. I see you're also wearing a breastplate. Is there a reason why?
Yeah, that's like probably the best thing I ever bought, really.
Why is that?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It just, like, there's so many, like I said earlier on, about like outfits that look good on her, but then you buy them and it's just like, because I used to go all natural with the the tape, like, we've all done that in the beginning, where you just tape it and then just like pad the bra out, like, and it's it's uncomfortable after a while, and that's really sore sometimes. So then I seen other cross dressers, and they had these, like, it's like, how is it? Like, at first I thought this was like witchcraft. I was like, what is this? I'd never seen breastplates, and I didn't even know they existed at the time. And I started Googling them, and I seen a pair on eBay, and I was just like, okay, I'm buying those. And and then I have them with every outfit, because I kind of just model my wardrobe to incorporate them.
For the dick pics, yes. For the dick pics.
Yeah, probably not doing myself any favors, am I?
I mean, you want to be more validated, then sure, just post them, and you're like, okay, cool, 4 dick pics today. All right, and then you'll measure the amount of success by the dick pics per day.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely a a name for a scale in there somewhere. I'll think of it. I'll think of something.
It's a banana scale, I'm sure.
Scrotum scale. It's called.
Oh, scrotums, yuck. How much was the breastplate? Because I'm interested in one, and I'm always wondering what that's like. And did you buy more than one? Like, how did you find the right one? What exactly was your process for that?
I got lucky. I'll be honest. I just hit it lucky on the first time. I bought one, and I probably will buy another one at some point in the future, because these old girls are getting tired now. And yeah, I bought it on eBay. I think it was like €130. So, you know what that is in dollars, maybe $180 or something.
Yeah, 180, 200, something like that.
Yeah, and like they're like silicone, so they're easy to keep clean, and like there's like you can squeeze them into anything. So yeah, they were definitely like worth the money, I think.
Yeah, they look great. I'm like, oh yeah, look, you have a rack.
Yeah.
Look at that. Huh. Yeah. Well made. And what's the cleaning process like that? Or do you not clean your breastplate? Doesn't it get sweaty? I don't know. I've never worn one, so I'm just like, I don't know. It's just
You get some of them. I see them, like it's just like bare silicone on the back, and like if you put that on your chest, especially if you're shaving, because I shave my chest and stuff. So if you shave and then you know the hairs start coming in, it's crazy itchy, and then you're pressing up just a piece of rubber against yourself. It's like that's just hell, you know. Especially if you're on a night out and you're just like, oh God, kill me, you know. You're just so uncomfortable and itchy, and then I just tend to put a bit of cloth between the back of the breastplate and myself, so it just kind of creates a little barrier there, and then that's perfectly comfortable. But yeah, they don't really require a lot of maintenance. You just wash them with soap and water. It's fine. And then they're like pale. They're like a paley pink, like off pink color. So I contour them with the same contour I use on my face, and the contour powder. And then because it's silicone, everything sticks to it. So you just throw a bunch of contour at that, and it blends with your makeup.
Hey Billy, who's Maddie?
Who is Maddie? That's a good question.
But if I wanted to learn more about her, where could I find her?
I think you can find her on the CrossYaas. Sorry. My throat's.
Fucking an hour later, the CrossYaas.
Can't.
This is
Where
great.
to find Maddie?
Where do I find Maddie?
Where can you not find Maddie?
That's
Where
right.
can you not find Maddie?
So join the CrossYaas Podcast.com Patreon. You'll get bonus stuff and hear all about Maddie. Isn't that right, Billy?
That's right.
Yeah. What can they hear about Maddie there, Billy?
You can hear how she takes like 20 minutes. She has a pretty high body count.
Not for murders, but for sex.
For sex, yeah.
Yeah.
She has a thing for holy water.
Yeah.
It goes somewhere.
That's right. So join the Patreon to discover where that you can hear all about that, Billy. Isn't that right?
That's right.
All right. And back to the podcast. Ain't that right, Billy?
Let's play it.
Damn, your makeup looks good. Jeez. So what do you use? What is your makeup? What's your go-to makeup like brands and stuff?
So I use Be Bold. They're the eyeshadow palettes that I use. That's the brand. Also BH Cosmetics. They're another company that I use quite a lot of. Rimmel London. I use those for like my foundation, concealer. LA Girl is the liquid contour creams that I use. Like there's a brown one and a light pink one that I use. And then my powders, then like my setting powders, I use RCMA setting powder. It's a transparent white powder, so it doesn't taint. Because I tend to, like, when I do my makeup, I tend to blend everything exactly how I want it to look. And then when I set it with my powder, I don't want the powder to kind of saturate any of the color or over color or something. So I use transparent powder for that. So you know that when you put it on, it's going to look exactly how you want it. And yeah, and then just like my lipsticks and stuff. We have like different. There was a company called Sleek. I don't know if you had those in the States, but they make. You don't know them.
Doesn't come to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they went out of business last year,
Oh.
which is just typical because they make you fall in love with like a particular product and then they're gone. So luckily I bought like quite a lot of it, so I still have it.
you try to keep them in business, but unfortunately, you didn't buy enough.
Yeah, I didn't buy enough shares. So yeah, I use that Sleek Matte Me. That's my for my lips because it's not like lipstick. It's like a chapstick almost, but it dries on your lips and then it never sticks to anything. It's like it's magic. It just stays that pigment, and then no matter what you drink or eat, you barely have to top it up. It's just great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and my mascara as well. That is like my mascara is extremely. I feel naked without mascara. I use Maybelline New York, Sky High mascara. That's really it's really good. But it's weird. I'm just thinking today that I was gonna change up my makeup routine a small bit and just use a different, more full coverage foundation. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out one that might be good for my skin tone, because it's all about getting the right shade.
No oranges, like you said. No,
No tangerines. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Some girls, I'm just like, you poor thing. Someone has to show you. Someone has to show you. But you look at some girls then, and like they're always on point. They always have everything perfect, and you're looking at them and you're just like, bitch. It's just like you're admiring it at the same time, but at the same time you're just like, if only.
I know this. I totally get that jealousy, and I'm just like, fuck. I remember some days I'm just like, how the fuck? I remember looking at a person look so good with their makeup, and I'm like, that's so gorgeous, you goddamn bitch.
Yeah.
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 You look good. I mean, I'm still enamored by how just good your makeup looks. It's fascinating. It's just so good. Again, it's one of that jealousy thing. Like, damn, Nicole, you hot, ugly, sexy bitch. Like, fuck you. Like, ugh.
Thank you.
Man, well done, girl. I'm just enamored, and it's just practice, like you said, right? Just to look how good you look. It's
all trial and error. Yeah, all trial and error. I looked about 50 shades and about 50 different clowns at the circus before I got it right. So it's it's all about just trying and just not.
So how many years have you said or would say you've done your makeup or practice and trial and error?
I'd say properly, actually really giving it a go, not half-assing it. I'd say only in the last 5 years.
Wow.
Really trying. Yeah. Because before that, it was a lot of hemming and hawing, kind of like, oh, do I buy a wig? Do I buy BREASTFORMS? Do I buy any more clothes? Do I have enough? And like, when I say, do I have enough? I had like 2 outfits, and I was thinking, oh, yeah, that's fine, but that's starting out. That's fine. But then if you're going to be going out and stuff, you got to have different looks and different wigs and different outfits. And especially if you're updating your Instagram, people are going to get pretty sick of seeing the same makeup routine and the same outfits, and you kind of try and mix it up a little bit. That's something that I'm not very good at, because
wait. There's something you're not very good at? I don't get that.
I try not to buy too much. I try to mix and match what I already have. and like that's still quite a lot. It's still more than my guy clothes. But it's I probably could do a bit more, to spice that up a bit. But yeah, I recently bought like a turn of the century saloon girl outfit thing.
Ooh.
And I did a TikTok with that. I did burlesque. Christian Aguilera burlesque did a little
Yes.
snippet from that. Yeah,
Yes.
and that was fun. But yeah, they're like these outfits are like huge, so you buy it and you're just like, oh, it looks really good, and then it gets here and it's just like, wow, I got no room on the shelf for this.
Welcome to girl problems, because
Yeah.
Kirsten, my wife now, same fucking issue. I'm like, how do you have so many goddamn clothes? Like, where are we supposed to put this? And she's like, oh, look, we'll find room. And it's like, like push things aside. I'm like, we have no room for this. Please get rid of something else.
Oh yeah, I know, I hear that. Yeah, that is definitely the same here. This is like always fighting over wardrobe space. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just put my stuff in a shoebox for a while, or I'll find somewhere. It's constantly just buying new racks for clothes.
What does your girlfriend say when you buy all these clothes? Seriously, like, is she like, are you fucking serious, Nicole? Like, stop.
No, she's cool about it. She sometimes she'll show me things, like she's looking for stuff for herself, and she'll say, "What do you think of this? Like, this is something Nicole would wear." And then I'll say either yay or nay, and then sometimes I'll buy things and then they're too small, and then because I've got the size wrong. Like, you think at this point I'd have learned better by now, but like sometimes you just get stuff and the size chart's not matching up, so you're just like, okay, that doesn't fit. And then I just give it to her, and she's just like, okay, I'll take that. So it's too small for me.
Dare I ask, how much have you spent on clothes for Nicole in your entire lifetime?
Oh wow. I would say
we can bring the calculator out if you need. Do you need a calculator?
between clothes, hair, makeup, forms. Wow. Shoes. Oh yeah, shoes are like the big hitter. Yeah, I'd say it's probably not as much as some cross-dressers, but like I'd say it's close on about 1,500 to maybe 2,000.
That's it?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
What are you buying?
Yeah.
Are you going to like are you shopping at homeless store? What do you shop for only $2,000? You must. I don't believe that.
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah. I think it might have something to do with our exchange rate here as well. For what we get, like, and it could be something to do with shipping costs and stuff that might add to like prices in America. I'm not sure, but I have looked at like American like websites for clothes, and I actually thought they were really expensive, especially if you go to like a cross-dressing store, and you're looking at a pair of like high heels and they're like $150 because they're like obviously like a custom size for like a bigger guy, but they have to spend that money because where else are they going to get what they want? So I'm kind of, I don't know what the size is in America for my shoe size, but like I'm a UK size 7, so that's like I don't know, it's an EU 42.
So many numbers. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is why I mess up my order sometimes. I don't have very big feet, basically, so I get away with buying like big shoes for girls. Girls have, like they can have big feet, so they I go for the higher end, as long as they're wide fit shoes though, because I do have quite wide feet, not very long, but they're quite wide. So yeah, I think that might have something to do with the fact that the price is kind of lower here.
That's crazy. It's still crazy to me with how you look and maybe all the outfits. I don't know. It seems really on the low end.
Yeah, I've heard some girls, they spend like, it wouldn't be unusual to hear someone spend like 10 grand on like an entire wardrobe of wigs and
15, 20. Yeah, it gets very expensive.
Yeah, it gets up there. Yeah. I think if I told my partner that I'd spend 10 grand on clothes, I think then we'd have a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to do with Nicole in the next 5-10 years? Where do you see her becoming?
I think she's gonna stay pretty much the way she is in terms of, how outgoing she is. I think I don't think I'm gonna ever recede back to being like closeted or shamed or anything. I think if anything, I'm gonna go out more, especially when COVID is behind us, and hopefully that's sooner rather than later. But yeah, I definitely it makes you appreciate like your freedom more. So you're kind of like, yeah, you're gonna make the most of it now when things start opening up again, and get out there even more. Probably try and meet other cross dressers and like have some guy friends that also cross dress. Because it's harder. Like the older you get, the harder it is to make friends. Because you have all your old friends and they know you inside out, and then that's great. But then if you're a cross dresser, it's kind of different, I guess.
Just a little, yeah. Just a little.
Yeah.
I mean, you found friends in the Discord. Well, if in me, and if you ever want to join the Discord, Nicole, you'll find it pleasantly surprised in a way that like people will be again amazed that you have so many followers, that you have a lot of dick pics. I don't know if that's again a scale, but yeah, join the Discord, Nicole. I think you would fucking love it. I already know if you're looking for more people. So
Awesome. No, I definitely will.
I don't know, but I don't want to take too much of your time. This will probably be a two-parter because, again, somebody who talks about dick pics, I want to have at least 2 hours with, just to talk about. Plus, you're as of right now, you are the person I've interviewed who has the most followers on Instagram. Not that it's a scale or a barometer of how like amazing or important the person is, or passable or whatever. It's just a number, and it's just again amazed that you reached out. So thank you so much, Nicole, for reaching out.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's like I said, it's great because like I don't know how, because you've been doing this for quite a while, and I don't know how I haven't found you before now, because like I've looked everywhere. I don't know how this got missed, because like I was like, all right, how do you is there anything for cross dressers to listen to? Like you get tips and like little tutorials and things on YouTube, but you never get like the great content that you have here, and the amount of stories and just the different walks of life, the different people. It's fascinating, because people that are kind of less likely to come out or tell people about themselves, hearing your guests, even if it reaches one person or 10 people, like it's helping people in the community say, yeah, I'm not alone. There's other people like me, and it's not weird. It's just another way to be a person.
Yes. Yeah. And again, I'm amazed I'm the first person you talk to. Like, that's amazing. Like, you're that freaking famous on Instagram and TikTok. I mean, all the the dick pic queen you might be, I guess. Like the first person I've heard that get that many dick pics. So, but yeah, join the Discord later, girl. Like after this, join the Discord, because you will be, again, enamored. Maybe just as much as you won't get as many dick pics, but you'll be as revered as there as you again will be on Instagram. But I like to end most of my conversations and my guests with the question of, in a perfect world of cross-dressing, sexuality, and gender, Nicole, what does that look like to you?
I think it looks like a place where people just let other people be who they are and just don't pass any judgment. Just let them be who they are, and not hurting anybody else. Just let them do them, and you do you.
Yes. Nicole, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. Do you want to give a shout out to your handles who aren't following you or sending you dick pics yet? Where can they send the dick pics to?
You can send your dick pics too. So yeah, it's my TikTok and my Instagram are the same handle. So it's X1X Nicole X1X.
Yes, yes. X, so many X's.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Nicole, again, join the Discord. I'm sure you'll love it. I can send you a link if you want to join it. You don't have to, but please do so. Like everybody's
Definitely,
gonna ask so many questions to you. Like everyone's gonna be
Definitely
like,
send me a link. I'll definitely join.
yes, yes. I'll send that to you. I'll send you a Q&A to your email. And maybe send me some photos. I mean, I can already look at all the photos and be like, okay, this girl's amazing. And then I'll send you an edited version of this interview. And yes, is there anything else I can do for you, Nicole? Anything you'd like to say? Last minute, last second things for me or for the podcast? Anything?
I think I pretty much covered everything. I'll probably go off now, and then later on I'll be just like, oh, I should have said this, or I should have said that. all at once is when you have time to reflect. That's when I'm going to start thinking, I should have said something else.
Yes. Well, we'll have you on the podcast again for maybe a 3-way or maybe a follow-up. See how many more dick pics. Sorry, I love the dick pic talk. You'll get in like 6 months from now. Like, oh yeah, hey Giselle, guess how many dick pics I got now. Oh, you're like, oh Giselle, I'm in Las Vegas now. I got flown in by a. I don't know. It's just super fascinating. And you have a kid, like maybe we'll have another talk because we had, an episode on Father's Day about fathers being, had an episode on that. So
I'd love to come back on.
Yes. And you're in Ireland, so we'll get the timing right. It's like kind of later in the day for you. It's early in the morning for me, but
yeah.
Yes, girl. Yes. But let me send you a link to the Discord. Thank you so much, Nicole. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Giselle.
All right. See you, girl. Love you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
And finally, the miscellany.
Yes!
And that concludes my Curi YAAS conversation with Nicole B. A lot of similarities Nicole and I share, from makeup to the dick pics to significant others and even getting hit on at a club. I love chatting with Nicole, and her talking about dick pics and even seeing a gender therapist for her cross-dressing was completely fascinating to me. Like, who knew a country like Ireland could be so progressive in making someone see a gender therapist and live life full-time for a year as the gender you want before starting hormones? I actually don't know much about the rules here in the United States with regards to starting hormones and living as the gender you want a full year, but I'll do more research because, well, that only does make sense. I doubt that a person has to live for a full year as the gender they want before starting hormones, but again, I'll look into it and report back to the CrossYaas listener. Ireland seems like a cool place to be as a crossdresser or a trans person, but I guess that's true anywhere as long as you're with the right people, and it seems like Nicole has found those right people, and the support system around her is just fantastic. And in reality, I hope everyone's coming out experience is as great as hers. Follow her again, X1X Nicole X1X, on Instagram and TikTok, and chat her up. Maybe don't send her any more dick pics, because clearly she's going to just ignore them, and although it is validating, please, just stop. It's not flattering. If you want more from Nicole, she also happens to be on our CrossYaas Discord, as well as many of the CrossYaas Podcast previous guests. So check it out by going to our website, CrossYaasPodcast.com, and finding the CrossYaas confidential Discord link. And also support the podcast there on our website, because if you're liking what we do, send a couple bucks our way by clicking on our Patreon page. There's bonus stuff on our website and our Patreon, and you can even see our Q&A with Nicole on there as well. Basically, there's just a bunch of stuff on our website, so please check it out if you haven't already. But that's all for this episode. Remember, when it comes to your cross-dressing, sexuality, and or gender, no one cares as much as you do. So do whatever you want and wear whatever you want within reason. Because as long as you're not hurting anyone with your cross-dressing, sexuality, and or gender presentation, why does it matter? So live your life to the fullest, because life's way too short not to. Be kind to yourself and one another, and just keep on living. I hope you, the CrossYaas listener, realize that you are loved by me and the podcast, so please let me know what you need so I can help you succeed. And again, if you enjoyed what you heard in this week's episode, remember to share this episode and the CrossYaas podcast with someone else. Because if you found any of what you heard today helpful, imagine what it could do for someone else. But again, that's all for this week's episode, and until next time, as always, keep it fresh, stay blessed, and remember, you're gorgeous.